I was in 3 different universities. I took English, then I took journalism, then I took, humanities. So I was really all over the place in university and transferred 3 times. What I did after law school was kind of what everyone does, is I sold all my stuff and ran away to Bali for 3 months.
Sure.
Yeah, long story short, I scaled that business to be a very profitable 7-figure e-commerce company and ran it for 10 years, selling it about 2 years ago. We were on Dragon's Den filming, I think, like day 45 of the company, and ended up doing a deal on Dragon's Den. I said, I want to meet the person who's going to buy my company.
What is up, YouTube? Jeff Wybo here, and I am back with Diana House. But in this video, we are going to dive into your entrepreneurial past and see how you got to this moment here. You guys will remember the Fog It video that we shot before, but I want to know how you even got to that spot. You can go back in time as far as you want, because spoiler alert, we've known each other since we were 5 years old.
Legit.
Living on the same street. But since then, you have gone on to be a crazy entrepreneur, and I've gone on to do whatever real estate stuff I'm doing. And here we are again, learning all about Diana. So can you please tell the audience a little bit about how this even happened and what companies you've had along the way, what exits, who you've met, all the crazy celebrities, what's been happening?
Hey, wow, that's a loaded question. I think it starts where a lot of entrepreneurs start, which is, going to the guidance counselor and having all these options of what you want to do for your career. And,
they didn't tell me that.
And not really wanting any of them.
Right.
And I think when I was growing up, so yeah, I'm 35 now, born in '84, entrepreneurship wasn't really a path that was super known or encouraged. Like, did you find that as well?
No, Canada, I say, when we talk about the guidance counselor, does not tell you to go do what we do. They tell you to go get this salaried employment.
Totally.
And it took me a long time to network with other people that do what I do. Yeah. But when we were in high school, no way, right? Yeah,
it wasn't a thing. It wasn't a path. So I remember actually I went to a very prestigious, private school, the best education, the best guidance. And I remember leaving that guidance counselor being like, I don't really want any of those boxes. What's even more odd that this was confusing for me is I come from a family of entrepreneurs. So my dad's a very successful entrepreneur. My mom's very entrepreneurial. I grew up around entrepreneurship, but it was still not an obvious path. And even different than that, my dad knew how hard entrepreneurship was and actually steered me away from that and, said like, I just want you to have like a good corporate career.
Weekends off, some vacations.
Yeah, and because entrepreneurship, I personally think everything's hard, but yeah, of course entrepreneurship is hard. There is risk, there's no playbook, you have to create your own playbook and things like that. So after finishing my undergrad, and for anyone who's feeling like lost out there, I was in 3 different universities. I took English, then I took journalism, then I took, humanities. So I was really all over the place in university and transferred 3 times. Still had no idea what I wanted to do. And then I was encouraged to go to law school after undergrad. And at this point, I think I'm like 22, have no clue what to do. And law school, I didn't have a better idea, but I did decide to go to law school in Australia, which was kind of my compromise. I was like, I'm not sure if law is for me, but going to Australia is definitely for me. So living in Australia was an amazing opportunity, which I think was a very creative time for me because I'm outside of my normal world of London, outside of the people that know me. So I was able to explore, a lot of different, creative things. And then what I did after law school was kind of what everyone does, is I sold all my stuff and ran away to Bali for 3 months.
Sure.
So yeah, I was pretty set on not being a lawyer. And the opportunity to go and do a yoga teacher training in Bali came up, and at the time I was really into yoga. So at the complete horror and dismay of my family, I went to Bali with no plan, knew no one, and ended up, while I was there, I had a lot of space to think, which I think is really important before starting something, really having the space to really explore what your interests are, what the trends in the market are. And in Bali, I discovered this product called Mala beads, which was kind of like if Lululemon created jewelry, it was this product. It was like this yoga jewelry product that had amazing stories and things like that. So ended up coming back to Canada, could not find a job. like most of my entrepreneur stuff comes around being either lost or not having another choice. Applied to like 150 jobs. It was 2008. So
when everything's crashed.
Not the best time to enter the employment world. So again, people who maybe just finished university right now are feeling the same thing. Might be the perfect time to start a business. Just saying. And it was really cool. The Ontario government had a program. It's still around for anyone who's just out of school watching. It's called the Summer Company Program, where I believe they gave you a $3,000 grant to start a company. And because I couldn't get a job, I was like, maybe I should try this other door. Why not do this? I'll do a business plan. I literally asked someone, I was like, so what should my business be? And they were like, you have this yoga jewelry idea, like people are buying them off of you as you walk through the street. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe that's a thing. Again, I wasn't a seasoned entrepreneur, so I didn't know what it felt like yet. Long story short, I scaled that business to be a very profitable 7-figure e-commerce company and ran it for 10 years, selling it about 2 years ago. So that was kind of the first foray. And then during that period, I met my husband, who's also a Jeff, also in real estate, funny enough.
He's taller.
He is taller. And he wanted to start an e-commerce company. So we ended up starting another e-commerce company called Cole & Parker that was in the men's sock space. This one was timed maybe not as well because we started one and then like 100 people started sock companies.
But this is one, when you were on your journey, I really didn't know what you were up to.
Okay.
I would hear about the socks.
Okay, cool.
Throughout.
Interesting. It was very hyped.
Yes.
We did, again, I'm a quick start. So in the first 30 days of the company, we did an Indiegogo campaign and pre-sold a lot of socks. I don't remember the exact number, but if someone Googles Indiegogo Cole & Parker, they could find, I think it was around close to 40K or maybe a bit more. So we did that, and then we were on Dragon's Den filming, I think like day 45 of the company, and ended up doing a deal on Dragon's Den. We ended up saying no after because there's a due diligence process after being on Dragon's Den.
Oh, that's the trick.
Where a lot of kinks are worked out. And
to the American audience, it's Shark Tank's equivalent in Canada. So
yes, so David Chilton was the dragon that we did a deal with, and he's actually into real estate. Really nice guy, and we own a building in Sarnia. He tried to buy it off of us. We said no, but really, a really good guy, and it was a really good experience. And then after selling those two companies, I kind of took some time and did some consulting in finance, which I really, really love operational finance. Weirdly enough, I think it's because I'm very much like a visionary artist type, and I realized that in order to be very successful in business for this type of person, well, I mean, I think anyone, but really understanding the numbers is super key. And then went all into real estate.
So what's your portfolio look like right now?
Yeah, so we have an operating company, which is our private lending company. So that's kind of our day-to-day business, how we make money. And so what we do is we do private mortgages in the $1 to $10 million range, with a sharp focus on southwestern Ontario, but we do all of Ontario, all asset classes. Right now we're very focused on residential and land. Previously I think we did a lot more commercial. We're a little bit
And you're developing right now?
Yeah, so then on the real estate side, we have focus on like commercial burrs. Again, that focus is changing a bit right now just based on the climate. So currently have a 23.5 acre site that we're developing outside of London, which is a really, really fun and extremely challenging process. And then building a 28 unit mid-rise by Victoria Hospital.
Yeah.
Yep, so that's going to be a fun adventure, and looking to get more into the multifamily residential.
Yeah, and Matt McKeever and I are buying a lot of giant apartment buildings, and we've had conversations with your husband trying to get some private money here and there too. So I'm sure we're going to be doing some business in the future.
I hope so.
That's really cool. So tell me about Sir Richard Branson.
So my e-commerce company, so it's called Tiny Devotions. It's still going, just operated by obviously someone else. A few years into it, probably it was like 6 or 7 years into it, I had done quite well. But I had never really done anything outrageous to like reward myself. And I am a huge proponent of rewarding yourself and like living your life and not just working, which I do really love work. And I was sitting in a hammock in Florida, and I was like, if I could do anything this year, like as crazy as possible, what would it be? Like what's my dream? And I really sat with it, and I was like, I would really love to go to Richard Branson's Necker Island. So I did some investigating and I found out that it was 40,000 US to go for a week, plus you had to pay for your own flight. And I was like, that seems like a little bit ridiculous. And then I also found out that you also needed to potentially have a roommate. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if that really makes sense. But long story short, I ended up meeting the girl that was supposed to be my roommate. We became very good friends, and I decided to go with my accountant's blessing. And when I went, I said, I want to meet the person who's going to buy my company. Mm-hmm. Years later, when I sold Tiny Potions, the person who bought my company I had met on Necker Island. He'd come on the island for one afternoon with another group while I was there. Wow. So like really, really crazy. It was definitely worth the investment to go. Do you know Jeff Walker? Internet great, marketing great. He was there. Like, the caliber of people that were on Necker were crazy. And then my roommate on Necker, she decided to bring a women's group the next year. So long story short, that's when the hurricane hit. So we got to go to South Africa with Richard Branson instead, and then back to Necker last year. So I've spent quite a bit of time with Richard. My husband has lost, a few chess games to him. He's a very good chess player. My biggest learning from him is he just has so much fun. Okay. Like, he legitimately is the most fun person, and he's really figured out the whole life balance thing. He'll go for his 2-hour kite surf and then get on one of the most difficult, challenging, grindy calls out there. But yeah, he takes impeccable care of his health. He does a lot of fitness and has really created his own version of his dream, which is that island. It's spectacular.
That's amazing. Myself and Matt put on a Las Vegas entrepreneurial experience a couple years ago. You can see past the light there. Yeah. But that was kind of like ours as well too. Similar to you, that you spent $40,000 to go. Those people spent a decent amount of money to come there, and we're still doing business deals with those people to this day. And everybody links back to something like that. And we always say you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So you might as well spend some time with Sir Richard Branson and pick up a few tips off of him, right?
Totally. And I actually had a personal challenge at the time that I was really wrestling with, which was I don't work well in my office. Yeah. And I felt really guilty about it. I was like, I just don't work really well in the office. And then I feel like hanging out with him, he doesn't work in his office. I was like, okay, I have full permission that if I work better not in my office, I don't need to work in my office. So
yeah, I don't know what your husband does, but everybody, when they see I'm a realtor, they say well, do you go to your office? I'm like, I never go to my office. Never. It's just our office is the world practically sometimes. Your cell phone and just sometimes you turn your cell phone off.
Isn't this your office?
This is my office too. Everything's my office. Wherever I am, pretty much is my office. But yeah, it's all about the networking. Totally. And that's crazy that you went there with that dream, with that goal. But obviously you're going to go there talking to other people that's paid $40,000 US to go. That's the caliber of person that I want to hang out with more. And you've done it already. So that's fantastic. Anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah, no, it's just such an honor to spend time with you, and I'm really glad we've got to do the 30-year, reunion.
Exactly. I hope we can do more. I hope you come back on the channel with your next company, and it's going to be fantastic. So if you guys haven't seen the other video, Go Fog It, make sure you guys go back and watch that video. We'll link that here. And also, how can they find you, Diana?
Yeah, so I am not online as much as you are, but I'm on Instagram at Diana Powerhouse.
All right, so we'll link that down below as well too. And thank you very much, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.